welcome to my channel, wildfoxstitchery. I talk about cross stitch here mainly, and sometimes some other crafts or creative hobbies that I might have. If you are a subscriber, thank you very much. I really appreciate all of you and all of your comments and your likes. Please keep them coming. If you are new, welcome. I hope you stick around, and if you like what you see, I hope you subscribe. I like to make new stitchy friends, so feel free to comment or message me. I have my email listed below, or you can DM me on Instagram. I am also wildfoxstitchery over there. So thank you everyone, and we'll go ahead and get going today. So I just got done with a 20-mile run, training run for my marathon that's coming up at the end of May here. That went well, and the weather was not too hot, which was awesome. It sprinkled a little bit, but that's fine. It took me about 4 hours to run 20 miles. I am not super fast, but I am not worried about that. I just want to complete the marathon, finish it. It's been one of my bucket list goals for a few years, and every time I attempt to train for it, I end up getting injured or something else happens and I have to put it on pause. But this year, everything's going good, everything's on plan, and I have my marathon coming up in just 3 weeks. So that's very exciting, and I'm a little nervous about it, but I hope that everything goes well. So wish me luck for that. There is one thing I decided: once I complete the marathon, I'm going to reward myself with a new start that I wasn't planning on. And it's actually going to be a restart. It's a full coverage project that I have had started previously a few years ago. So I will talk more about that later on, but I'm excited about that. That's what I've been doing this morning. It took me all morning. I am going to film the Flosstube now, and then I'm going to go take a nap because I am feeling very tired now. So I don't know, and I hope it's working, but I don't know if you've noticed a difference in the sound quality, but I did get a microphone. So I'm hoping that the sound quality on these videos will be a little better. I know previously they were a little quiet, just using the phone microphone. So I hope it's working out here and that everything, I don't have to re-record this. I did test it and it seemed like it worked fine. So that is something new around here. Another thing that I recently purchased for stitching is a light, and I'm going to show you it. It works really well when I'm stitching somewhere where it might be a little more dark and I don't have quite enough light. So I purchased this reading light. It just goes around your neck here, and you can turn it on and adjust it as needed. And it's rechargeable, so I got that on Amazon. It wasn't very expensive, but it works out really well, and it's made me able to stitch a lot more in places where it might have been too dark and I just didn't feel like struggling to see before. So I've gotten a little more stitching this week because of that, and so that's awesome. And another thing I wanted to tell you guys about is I do have my Etsy shop with cross-stitch shirts and cross-stitch stickers and other types of shirts and stickers. If you are interested, I will post a link below. And just wanted to remind you about that in case you needed any cute cross-stitch shirts. And if you have any ideas for other shirts, I am happy to hear them and design them and put them up. I enjoy getting ideas from other people. Let's go ahead and look at the projects that I've worked on, my WIPs, works in progress that I worked on since my last video 2 weeks ago. I had one new start during that time, I will go ahead and show you that. I'm going to take it out of the hoop here so that you can see it. This is, it's called There Is Room, and it's by the Proper Stitcher. I'm sneezing for a second there. Sorry about that. Okay. It was a new start. It was called for WIPGO this month, and I have put, I believe, 2 or 3 days into it so far. This is what it's looking like at the moment. So I have all the words finished, and I'm working on this motif down here. This is a fun project, and I have a couple more days still this month that I need to work on it, so I'm hoping to get quite a bit more progress on it during that time. So I'm using a DMC thread on color and cotton linen. The name of the linen is Bluebird, and the thread number for DMC is 3760, and I really like how it's looking, this tone on tone. So this is just a piece of fabric I had in my stash that I decided to use for this. I've had it for a few years, so I don't know if it's still available or not. So that was my new start for WIPGO for May. So that's been fun. And then I have a couple of projects I've switched between for my 100 stitches a day project, which I'm changing to just be a strand a day because 100 stitches can sometimes be a lot, and I don't quite get to that. But if I think 1 strand a day is doable on these projects, and I'm not gonna stick to the same one all the time. I think every week I will switch back and forth, or just depending on where I'm going or what activity I'm doing that day. So one of them that I worked on is this one here. This is Quoth the Stitcher, and you'll see what it looks like, but this is how far I am. It's still in a hoop. I need to work on it more today. But this is where I've gotten to. This is also on color and cotton linen that I've had in my stash, and it was called, the color was Sampler Gold, and I'm using DMC thread for this as well. I think I have it here somewhere. Here it is. It is 3021 that I'm using on there, and I like how that's looking. This border down here is a lot more involved than it looked like it would be in the picture. And the last time I was working on this, I was sitting in the bleachers watching a baseball practice, which I found out it was a little tricky to work on it there just because it was hard to count. Maybe there wasn't quite enough light. So I might have to work on that one only at home. The other project that I've been working on while I travel and trying to put at least a strand a day on is my Coffee Quaker by Heartstring Samplery. And I've gotten quite a bit of progress on this one. This one I'm doing it monochromatic. So I'm doing it all in 3808. This is what it's looking like. It's on 28 count Jobelin 1/1. So I had to change this a little bit here because I didn't want to fill it in and have it just be all one big blob. So I changed this motif a little bit. Everything else so far is looking good with just one color. So I'm really liking how this one's turning out. And I feel like I'm getting close to being done, but I think there's quite a few more motifs that that I'm not as far as I thought as it feels like I should be. We'll see. So that one is, I try to work on every day if I can. And then another project that I've worked on just a tiny little bit in the last couple weeks is my Fishy Goings On by Long Dog Sampler. Here's what it's looking like so far. I love this one. I say this every time, but it's my favorite project at the moment. And this was one of my WIPCO calls for May, so I haven't worked on it yet for that. I will probably work on that this coming week, so I have to put 5 days into that for WIPCO. So I should get a lot more progress on this in the next after the weekend. I will work on it next week for 5 days. On the weekends, I usually try to work on my stitch-alongs. So I haven't had a chance to work on any yet today, but last weekend I worked on the NeedleLot design stitch-along, which is called the Secret Grove. It's fully released now, so all I have to do is finish it up, but here's what it's looking like so far. So I've working on the frog, and I did this here, I did the candles. I can finish up the frog today, hopefully. And then there's a few more little pieces, and this one will be completed. So I love this one. It's really awesome. And if she ever does another stitch along, I will definitely do it again. It's just so much fun, and I love stitching and I love how these turn out after stitching them with the way the colors work. So this is on a 16 count lilac Ada. So I will probably work on that later today. I have 2 other stitch alongs I need to work on that I haven't worked on since my last video though, so I won't talk about those right now. I did also work on the last week I've been working on, I put my 5 days in on one of my full coverage projects for the month of May, and that was Queen of Wands, charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. The artist is Selena Fennick, and I will show you my progress here. Okay, so this is where I'm at. I am at 4.35% done. Almost completed the second page here, over here. This is on 25 count, and it's 2 over 1/10 stitch. There's a lot of brown hair that I am going to be working on here. It's looking good though. I like how it's turning out. It'll be nice when I get that brown hair finished up, but I think it's quite a few pages of brown hair if you see the picture. So that will be fun to get past that. Then I have one other full coverage that I'm going to work on for 5 days this month, and that is my Killers piece. I'll just put a picture of it here so you know which one I'm talking about. I'll be working on that on the probably the last week of May for 5 days. That is my plan. That one's started by Tilton Crafts, and the artist is Chris Moreno Aiden. So, plans, besides that, I've already talked about a couple of my plans. My other plan that I mentioned earlier was that new, or a restart of a project that I had previously started, and that is going to be Mint and Roses, charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. The artist is, who is it? Bente Slick. This is what it looks like, and I'm just going to show you how far I got last time. And the reason I'm starting over is because I don't have whatever charting or program I was using to keep track of my stitches years ago when I did this. I don't know, and I don't have it anymore. So it would be hard to figure out where I am on this one. But this is how much I got done last time. So I know this is a page here and a page here. It's quite a bit of stitching, really, but I am okay with restarting this one. Also, it looks like it got, I guess I don't realize how dirty it gets when you're working on it, but it's really dirty here. But I can use this, I can still use this fabric for something else and cut that part off. That won't be a problem because eventually I will be washing it. So that is my plan for after I finish the marathon, which the marathon will be May 31st, so the very last day of the month. And that will be what I start probably the next day or so. We'll see how that goes. And then I did also buy one pattern this past week, and that was Leela Studios' new winter sampler called Peace on Earth. It looks like this. I am gonna start that eventually later on this year because I don't really have many Christmas projects, or I don't think I have any that I'm working on this year. So I'm just gonna make an exception and start that one as well. I don't know if anyone else is planning on starting that. I think there's quite a few people who might be doing that since it's a new pattern, and I've seen a lot of people talking about it. So that is something I'm excited for later on this year. I don't know exactly when. Another purchase that I made, well, I didn't make it, I got it for Mother's Day. Mother's Day is tomorrow here in the US. So I have this piece of fabric from Under the Sea Fabrics, and it's something I'm going to work on next year in 2026. I'm not going to start it this year, but I love the fabric and I'm very excited about it. I'm going to show you the fabric because it's beautiful and colorful, and it's big. So I have a plan for this fabric, specific plan. I'm not going to say exactly what it is right now, but you will see next year what I plan on doing with this fabric. So my husband bought this for me for Mother's Day. So I'm very, very excited to have this on hand, and it's very pretty. The color is Chloris, and it's a fat half of 20 count Lugana. So that's very pretty, very exciting. The other thing, oh, I did get something from eBay as well. I'm going to show you that. It's a kit. Hopefully you can see it in this bag. It's Titanic. It's a Jiffy, Sunset Jiffy counted cross stitch kit with a Titanic. It's small, I think it's 5 by 7, and this looks like it was made in 1998. So that will be fun to have and do someday. This is my second Titanic kit I have. I am going to work on the other Titanic kit called A Night to Remember next year. What else was I going to talk about today? Something else from eBay. It's this old, I had to find this old July 1992 For the Love of Cross Stitch magazine. So I found it on eBay, and I wanted to get it specifically for one pattern because I don't know if you remember in a previous video, but I showed you that I have this little girl bunny pattern, and I knew that the boy bunny pattern that goes with it was in this issue, so I wanted to order it just so that I have both of them as a set. It's kind of cute. I'm gonna do those eventually here. It also has cute bears, although that's not something that I would ever do. They are cute though. I don't know if there's anything else in here that I would actually do. Let me just take a look real quick. I don't think there was. This one is kind of cool. It's a swan, Christmas swan, I guess, with a quilted design behind it. Kind of cool. I don't know if I like the quilted design behind it though, so I probably wouldn't do it. Some geranium. That's a pretty pattern if you like to stitch flowers. Otherwise, there isn't much else that I would be interested in that, unfortunately, but I did want that one boy bunny pattern to go with the little girl bunny. And I think that is everything. Although that was not true. I have one other thing I have to show you, and it's something that I won in a giveaway. Karen at KEB Designs had a giveaway, and I won this project bag that she made, and it's got a cross stitch on it and everything. It's really beautiful and amazing and nice and big. So this is what it looks like. Look at the nice cross stitch on there. The back of it. The inside. This is the first ever real project bag that was like this that I've ever had, so that was awesome. I'm very excited to be able to use it because all my other project bags are just these or Ziploc bags. One of the two. And she even sent the leftover thread in there. This classic Colorworks Sugar and Spice. And there was leftover treasures. And the magazine that had the pattern in it as well. So very, very nice, and I loved it so much. I really appreciate it. Okay, so let me look at my list and see if there was anything else I wanted to mention. So I think that's everything for today, all of my updates. Thank you for watching. Thank you for spending time with me today. I am going to say goodbye for now and probably go take a nap. and then do some stitching after that. So I hope you have a good weekend. Bye!